Everything you've always wanted to know about real estate, but didn't know who to ask. I'm your host, Angie Stanley. Today we have an amazing lineup. We have Jane Kepley, who is a realtor with CR Properties. We have Jesse Lipscomb, who is a registered tax preparer with IRA Solutions, Inc. We have Bob Weller, who is a lender with Guaranteed Rate. Hi, Jane. So thanks so much for coming on the show today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell me, why did you become a realtor?
Well, I became a realtor when I was working in assisted living. I was the marketing director for a brand new community in Fallbrook, and they were under construction. It was my job to fill the building. So I would have these dusty shoe tours, and I would try to avoid the construction workers, and I was showing apartments to seniors. Once we were completed, I had a model, and I would be showing them the model, giving them ideas on how to put their furniture. I would go to their homes, and I would help them choose what furniture to bring. We would take little stickers and put like a red on something that would absolutely not be able to come, or a green, like, oh, this is a must, I have to have it. And I just thought, I could show the houses. I'm showing apartments, and I really enjoyed helping them. I really liked helping people find their new homes.
Wow, you kind of fell into being a realtor then.
In a way I did. I wanted to be in business for myself, and I just thought it'd be a good fit.
That's awesome. So I see that you're really involved in the community. You're a part of the Chamber and the Seroptimus Club in Fallbrook. Tell me more about that. Why do you give back? Why do you choose to participate with those activities?
I'm a people person, and I really like meeting people and getting to know everybody, getting involved in the community. In the Chamber, I was an ambassador, which is somebody who goes to the functions that are grand openings. They have once a month get-togethers for all the businesses. It's like a social. They have hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and you get to meet people. And as an ambassador, you are the person that greets the new people, the new Chamber members, and you just walk up and introduce yourself and ask them about their business.
Wow.
And I really enjoyed that. I met a lot of really neat people. And in Seroptimus, it's a professional women's organization that is international. We were founded in 1921, so we just celebrated 93 years. It's a service organization worldwide, and what we do is we provide the resources and the tools for women and girls to reach their full potential. There are some core factors that we focus on. Human trafficking is a big one. Access to health care, education, and that's where Fallbrook Seroptimus focuses. I am the president, have been now, this is my third year, and we give scholarships into the community. We have a couple of scholarships that are relevant just to Seroptimus. One is called the Women's Opportunity Award, and we give a scholarship to a woman who's head of household and who's working and going to school. And she can use it for tuition, childcare, transportation, books, however she needs it. And when you're an adult going to school, there's not that many scholarship opportunities. Usually it's the high school children who get the scholarships. So it's really a great opportunity for women to get a little help. Mm-hmm. We also have another one called the Violet Richardson Award. And this is the woman who started Seroptimus International. It was 1921, and there was no women's organizations, and so she created this one. So we have an award for like a 14 to 17-year-old young lady who volunteers in her community, and we will donate to her charity of choice.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, do you find the more that you give, the more the return comes as far as with business? The more that you're involved, the more business, the busier you seem to be?
Well, that's the plan. Mm-hmm. Of course, real estate is a contact sport. You have to be out there, you have to be meeting people, and it has really helped. People refer me to their friends. They know me, they've seen me produce results in the organizations I've been involved in, and so they're confident to let me help them with a really major transaction in their lives.
Exactly, I agree. So tell me, where do you see the market today? You hear so many things out there. What's your opinion?
It's a good one. It's gotten so much better. It softened a little bit at the end of the year, but last year was the busiest year that I had seen since 2006. And actually I saw that also confirming that for me in the National Association of Realtors. They were sending out information, and it was stating that 2013 was busiest since 2006, the most home sales. The beginning of this year has really started to pick up. I think people are a little more confident about making changes. For so long, people were underwater. They owed more money than their house was worth. You didn't see any sales unless it was a distressed property. I really am not seeing the bank owns or the short sales where there was rarely a traditional sale. Now it's rarely a short sale or a bank own that I see coming on the market. So a lot more activity.
That's what I'm seeing as well. So tell me, you're very experienced. What's the best tip you would give someone looking to buy?
Well, the first thing, if you're looking to buy, I always recommend get pre-qualified, because you want to be looking in the price point you can afford. Know what your payment is. And be prepared. It can take a little while. And the next thing is location, location, location. You can always change a structure. You cannot change a location. You need to be aware, how long is it going to take you to get to work? What is the traffic like? What are the schools like if you have kids? That's really important, the location is. Those are my two big ones right there.
All right, and then what about the best tip for someone looking to sell their home?
For selling your home, the best tip would be have a plan. Where you're going once your house sells, because this market is really getting busy, and I've seen homes sell in a week. Well, I tell my my sellers, if I sell your house in a week, where are you going to live? Do you have a plan? So I really emphasize that. And also clean sales. No matter what kind of house you have, if you have a dated home or all the bells and whistles, clean sells. And if you have animals in your house, minimize their presence. Take the dog bed out when you're going to have a showing. Put the food bowls outside. Open the windows, air it out. People don't really like to buy homes where they've seen animals living in. Even if they have animals, they don't want to know you've had them.
I agree. Thanks so much, Jane. Really important information. Next up, we have Jessie Lipscomb, who is a registered tax preparer with IRA Solutions, Inc.
I'm Amy Scruggs with New American Funding, and you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
Oakwood TV.
Oakwood TV.
Oakwood TV.
The first online internet TV channel for the real estate industry. Stay tuned. You don't know what's coming next.
Welcome back to Smart Real Estate. We are lucky enough to have Jessie Lipscomb joining our show. He is a registered tax preparer as well as a financial planner with IRA Solutions, Inc. Hey Jessie, how are you?
What's going on, Angie?
Thanks for coming on the show today. Now tell me, how did you get into the tax business?
Okay, so I've been doing financial planning for about the past 10 years, since 2001. Okay, and specifically as an investment advisor, you know, our job is to take a look at your situation, see how we can improve it. But I see that more and more of my clients were needing tax planning help, right? Because they'd go and they'd talk to their tax preparer, and he would say, well, I don't know, I can't give you investment advice. So I decided to become a registered tax preparer, and our niche now is we do tax planning, meaning we look at your tax return, we find ways, opportunities for you to save money in your taxes and keep more of what you earn.
Wow, so you don't wait until it's kind of past the point, you try to look in advance to foresee maybe ways you can help them.
Absolutely, and in fact our business, RE Tax Services, is specifically designed to do just that. We have a, starts off at $99 a month. We do all of the bookkeeping for our realtor clients. That includes their tax return at the end of the year, but best and most importantly is we give them monthly tax planning advice as we're looking together at their profit and loss statements and earnings. I mean, if you are a real estate agent, if you don't know exactly how much money you've made year to date and exactly how much money you've spent, there's no way for you to do any effective planning.
I agree. So tell me, what's the deal with your company? What makes you different?
Well, I think it's that dynamic of the monthly subscription where we're in the 21st century. The bookkeeping aspect of it is phenomenal. We can utilize direct bank feeds to get all of your deposits, all of your expenses from both banks and credit card statements. And we're using that so that without having to come to your office, without having to meet and gather your receipts, we're able to give you a snapshot of where your business is. And when you do that every month, and it's compounded with tax planning advice throughout the year, now you're being proactive, you're planning, versus being reactive when you have your taxes prepped in March and you go, oh no, I owe this big tax bill. How am I going to minimize it?
So you're essentially their accountant for $100 a month.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, that's amazing. That's really interesting. Now tell me, how are taxes for real estate professionals different than other professions?
Well, I think the key is the fact that we're licensed professionals. If you are a real estate agent, okay, you're self-employed essentially. So I think the key word is a real estate salesperson, right? So you're not a broker, you're just a regular salesperson. A lot of CPAs, tax professionals, are going to tell you, Angie, you need to incorporate, because that way you can lower your self-employment taxes, which really, it's almost 15% net, right? It's 15.3%, but breaks down to a little under 15% of your earnings you have to pay into Social Security and Medicare, right? Well, the problem with the strategy of shifting your income from your self-employed earnings to a corporation is if the corporation isn't licensed, the IRS will look at that, if they audit you, as shifting of income. It's the fruit of the tree, right? Did you, the agent, earn it, or did your corporation earn it, right? Did you shift it just to avoid self-employment tax or not? Okay, if you were an unlicensed business, right, and you were able to set up a corporation, great, you can use that to lower your self-employment tax. But as real estate professionals, you have a license, so you need to make a conscious decision. Are you going to be a licensed individual agent, or are you going to get a broker's license as a corporation and now have the earnings flow through that corporation? And that's your planning opportunity to save on self-employment taxes. But unique to realtors and insurance agents and other licensed professionals, you need to become a broker and have that corporation license to take advantage of that.
Interesting. And then how does it work with realtors? Because I know they don't have taxes coming out throughout the year, and then at the end of the year they look at how much money they owe or don't owe or whatever their situation is. I mean, how can you prevent that?
Well, I think it goes back to the first bit we were talking about, Angie, of having good records, right? Because it's so easy to earn money and so easy to spend money, and when it's up and down in real estate, it's very difficult to plan. And the worst thing to do is to earn $100,000, which that's not a horrible thing, right? But you earn the $100,000 and you don't pay any quarterly taxes, you don't do anything, and then you go and see your tax person. Oh, by the way, you owe $20,000 in taxes, $15,000 of which are self-employment taxes. Well, $20,000, where is that money going to come from? Okay, so much better throughout the year to know where you are, to do some planning therein, and maybe you need to make quarterly contributions. Maybe you need to become a broker and become a corporation and see if there's a way to save $10,000 in self-employment taxes.
So it's really unique to the situation, and that's why they need to consult someone like yourself.
I think real estate professionals they absolutely must keep good records. And if they do that, then their whole tax picture changes. If you're able to know where your income is coming in, where it's going out, how to track it, how to save, how to lower your taxes, you have opportunities because you're planning and not reacting. Okay,
real quick, we're getting ready to finish up here, but what are the 3 best tips you could give someone, getting ready to prepare their taxes?
Anyone at all? Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing is, again, accurate records, okay? I think the best thing to do is to do a review of your tax return. In December or November, look at the prior year. Why? Because there's little things, especially with the advent of the new Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, right? If you're at a break point of income, you may jeopardize getting that tax credit on your taxes. Well, if you're right on the bubble and you make a $5,000 bonus in December, it'd be pretty good to know, hey, I can put that in a 401k or an IRA or health savings account, so I keep my income under the threshold, so I keep the credit and don't end up having to pay it all back.
Gotcha. Prepare like anything else in life. Well, thanks so much, Jesse, for coming on. It was really valuable information. Next up, we have Bob Weller, who is a lender with Guaranteed Rate.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Corona with Farmers Insurance.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching Smart Real Estate.
Smart Real Estate.
Smart Real Estate.
Smart Real Estate.
Everything you ever wanted to know about real estate, but didn't know who to ask? Find your answers at Smart Real Estate.
Hello and welcome back to Smart Real Estate. Now we are lucky enough to be joined by Bob Weller, who is the VP of Mortgage Lending with Guaranteed Rate. Hi Bob, how are you today?
Hi Angie, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. Now tell me, why did you become a lender?
Well, back in 2002, my mentor at the time, we were discussing career decisions after the technology meltdown, and he knew me really well, and he noticed that I had a real client-focused centric, really trying to solve their needs. He also saw that I was relentless, and he goes, you know, you'd make a really good mortgage lender. And I had worked on Wall Street back in the 80s, and I knew a lot about government bonds and mortgages, so it was a really good fit for me to get into mortgage lending and apply my skills to helping people.
That's interesting. That's a great background for that. Okay, Guaranteed Rate. Tell me about Guaranteed Rate. What makes you guys different?
Well, Guaranteed Rate was started in approximately 2000 by Victor Ciadelli back in Chicago. We've grown to be the 8th largest lender in the United States, doing over $14 billion in loans last year. And the thing that I really like about Guaranteed Rate that I've come to see, and it's really made a difference, is every team member, employee there owns their job. That in our business, it's an extremely complicated, detailed job. And there's a lot of issues that need to be solved as loans go on. Every employee there always takes ownership for their job, their timeline. And when there's an issue that comes up, which in loans there's always issues, we all work together to solve it. There's no finger pointing, and we just get the job done on time.
Wow, that's great. And so tell me, what makes you different than other loan officers?
Well, I have a real passion for helping people and helping them get into their first home or any home. And a lot of times I get the call after there's been a situation with another lender that's hasn't worked out too good. And so they know that I will find a solution when no one else can find a solution. For example, I recently had a borrower that went self-employed in the middle of last year and didn't have taxes, but he had a good down payment. I was able to get him a loan so that they could buy a house. They just had a baby, they wanted to get a bigger house. And he hadn't even filed taxes yet, and he was self-employed under 1 year, and so we still got him a loan. So my ability to really listen to what their needs are and just go scour for the different lenders that we have, because we underwrite to 22 different lenders in-house, and we broker to 16 lenders out-of-house.
So you have a lot more flexibility than, say, some of your bigger banks.
Tons of flexibility, numerous guidelines that we can underwrite to, and we're a great team. We really enjoy our work, and we're good at it.
Yes, it seems like you guys have a really great group of professionals there.
They are.
So tell me, do you guys offer any niche products?
On the niche side, I just mentioned one to you, is where if a person has recently become self-employed or their taxes have some interesting situations, we have some lenders that just want to make sure that they're making a good living, but they don't have to fit through all the loopholes. In terms of the jumbo product, we have more jumbo lenders than anybody I know. In Southern California and San Diego here, a lot of loans are above the 527 loan amount, and 546 rather. And so we need a lot of different investors that will take those loans. We have quite a few of those.
So to make it jumbo, it's only $546,000.
Under conventional guidelines.
Interesting. Yeah, so a lot of homes in Southern California need to be in the jumbo category.
Right.
So tell me, Bob, where do you see the market today?
Where do I see the market today? Well, as it relates to loans, the government, due to the Frank-Dodd Act, has really tightened down on what lenders are allowed to do and what their requirements are. And one of the things that I saw when, is coming is that if you don't have a large selection of non-Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac conventional lenders, you're going to have some difficulties because the guidelines are very strict. So it really just comes down to there's more portfolio lenders, loans are still getting done. They just want to see that you can afford the house and that you have assets, reliable, the ability to pay the mortgage is super important going forward. So there's a lot of concerns that lending has gotten more strict. It has, but at the same time, if you know your guidelines, you know your client, you can still find loans for them. And a lot of it is a lot of complaining that probably doesn't necessarily need to be happening.
So essentially what I'm hearing from that is if you're told, no, we can't get you a loan, to definitely shop around and keep your options open and don't just go to one, maybe the bank that you bank with, because there are different options out there. It's just like anything, you have to try to find them.
That's a good summary, Angie. I like it.
All right, Bob. So as we finish up, give me 3 tips you'd want to give someone looking to buy.
Well, the 3 tips really come to meet with your lender immediately. I've had people that make millions of dollars, they've got plenty of money in the bank, and then I take a look at their credit. And they didn't even know that there was a medical late on there, or there was a credit card they forgot to pay, and their credit, their credit score is in the 600s. So we have to go out and fix that. So by meeting with your lender immediately, we'll work with them on the big 3, which is their credit score, their income, and their assets, to make sure that they are ready to go make an offer. Because in this market, writing offers, you better be bulletproof, ready to go. And we actually have a niche product as well that we can get loan docs out in 5 days.
So when you say meet with a loan officer in advance, so if I'm looking to buy a home, how far in advance do I need to start reaching out to someone like you?
Well, sometimes people make the decision to buy a house at the last minute, but if they can do it a year in advance, honestly, because sometimes their income isn't high enough, they've got really deep credit issues, that can take 4 or 5 or 6 months to get cleaned up to the point where they're comfortable to buy.
Okay. And then 2 more tips.
2 more tips. Well, I was thinking that the 3 tips were getting the assets and the income and the FICO ready. The other tips...
Well, I have a question regarding
Sure.
the credit. So do you guys actually help them repair their credit, or do you send them to someone that can maybe advise them with that?
Yes, I have an excellent credit repair agency, B Squared, and they do an excellent job walking the borrowers through it.
Okay, and they're able to help them with their credit repair, or just advise the borrower with maybe what they need to do, pay off this, don't do
Very,
that?
very specific detail. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Okay.
But in terms of the other tips, don't go out and buy a car, don't close any credit cards, pay all your bills on time, keep your job, and work with a really reputable lender or realtor, and we can refer them to them if they don't have one.
I think that's the best advice of all, is just working with reputable people that can advise you in the right direction.
There you go.
Well, thanks so much, Bob. Very valuable advice. That was really great information. And thank all of you for tuning in to Smart Real Estate. Check us out next week on Oakwood TV, or if you're interested in appearing on our show, go to OakwoodTV.tv.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Nickel from San Diego Probate Law, and you're watching
Oakwood TV.
Oakwood TV.
Oakwood TV.
OakwoodTV.tv, the first online TV station for the real estate industry.